which is going through dimension.
You know what, guys? I just don't feel like dealing with both of you right now. You're why this fucking room exists.
So my suggestion to them, just try it. Do not
Forgot about this fucking nincompoop.
bother about whether homeopathy is logical.
Alright, it has been incredibly hard to find time to work on a video, but I figured I should just go ahead and get this one out for you guys. So let's start where we left off last time.
Do not bother about whether homeopathy is logical, whether it is within the tenets of science as we know it today, whether it is making sense or no sense. Simply watch the results.
So let's unpack that whole thing just a little bit. This entire stream of verbal diarrhea is just a plea for you to discard reality. Literally. Okay, we'll start with the logical aspect of this. Logical. Characterized by or capable of clear, sound reasoning. That immediately makes me think that homeopathy is useless and to bin it. But it's the
whether it is within the tenets of science as we know it today
part that really makes me scratch my head. This is, to me, a tacit admission that it isn't testable or verifiable. Therefore, it's still useless. In case it's lost on anyone out there, fitting within the tenets of science just means they started with a hypothesis, tested their hypothesis, and then came to a reasonable conclusion on the evidence presented. It's hard to make your bullshit a science when you start with a conclusion and work backwards. Finally, he wants you to just ignore whether or not it makes sense or none at all. Setting aside just how preposterous that really is as a proposition, you implore us to just watch the results. Newsflash, we understand the results of taking a placebo. You know, we really could stop here and let this be the end of it, but we're not because I'm an asshole. So let's keep going.
Our founder Hahnemann, the one who discovered homeopathy, he wrote a book. And the very first words of the book are as follows: homeopathy appeals to the proof of its action.
Look, if you want to know more about Samuel Hahnemann, I will put a link in the description to CoolHardLogic's video on homeopathy. He does a good little section giving you the backstory of Hahnemann. I just don't feel like talking about him, so there's that if you'd like. But what I do want to talk about is the fact that I could not find this quote as he stated it attributed to anyone at all. The closest I could find was a direct quote on a homeopathic practitioner's Facebook page that she did not attribute to anyone, and a similar quote I found in a paper published by the National Council Against Health Fraud discrediting homeopathy. But I don't know, maybe it's one of those in-crowd secrets from a book that was privately published. Who the fuck knows?
Just you practice this and publish your failures to the world.
Look, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but you're playing for a losing team. All they have and ever will have is failures. There isn't a study out there that shows that it's any more effective than doing nothing at all and maybe being positive. You know, your immune system in certain cases is perfectly capable of fighting off a good amount of ailments. The homeopathic industry, in my opinion, is bollocks dressed in post hoc reasoning.
Everything comes later. All my explanation, all my theorizing, all my great ideas of this or that or this theory, that theory, no.
Here, let me fix that sentence for you.
Everything comes later. All my
bullshit.
All my
bullshit.
All my great
hypothesis
of this or that or this
hypothesis.
That
hypothesis.
You know.
But look, what my real point is, you have nothing to work with but confirmation bias. Homeopathy has been tested and hasn't a theory one that has been verifiably useful, unless you want to talk about placebo effect. In certain situations, advocating homeopathic treatment is actually more dangerous than doing nothing at all. When you yourself have advocated that a diabetic still take a sugar pill because you think it will have a negligible effect, that's when I give a fuck. High glucose levels in the blood can lead to diabetic ketoacidosis. When the body can't use glucose for fuel, it starts to use fat. When this happens, chemicals called ketones are released in the blood. High levels of ketones in the blood can be a problem because they can cause the blood to become acidic. Too much acid in the blood throws off the body's chemical balance. If the person already has high blood sugar levels and is at risk for ketoacidosis, your pills could be the straw that breaks the camel's back and puts the camel in a coma, or possibly kills them. If you're the world's leading homeopath, I'd hate to hear what the guy in last place is advising his patients to do.
Once you see its effect, then we will talk further.
Wow. Really? No. We need to know how you came to the conclusion that it was the homeopathic treatments that were in fact the reason the patient got well again. Here, I'll set up a scenario employing the same logic you just did. Person A gets the flu. Person B punches Person A in the face. The next day, Person A feels much better. Would you then prescribe your patients that come to you with flu a punch in the face? It may be a tad hyperbolic, but in this case it follows the same line of reasoning you suggest we all follow. Do you not see how this could turn on you at some point? Which makes me curious to know how many people have replaced taking conventional treatments with homeopathic ones and have died of serious illness as a result. But all of that aside, in part 3 we're going to address his faulty understanding of science and prove he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. I truly appreciate all of you, and I'm trying my best to find time to work on stuff. Life really hasn't stopped fucking me long enough for a smoke break recently, so it's been a tad difficult, but I really am trying. I've been able to make the last couple taking a look at, so if you haven't subscribed to that yet, it's me, Microbloganism, Chocolate Hat, and Purple Dan, and sometimes a guest, just railing on websites for X, Y, and Z websites that are full of shit. But I'll leave a link in the description to the channel. Again, thank you. But till next time, love you, bye.